Hey guys, welcome to the CSS portion of our quiz application development. We have our HTML complete, and we also have our style sheet linked in the head tag. So let's go over to style.css, and first thing we want to do is define our core styles. So we'll start at the body. Nothing major. We're just going to set a font family, and we're going to set that to Arial. The size of the font. Now there's not a lot of content on each page, so I'm going to set this to 15 pixels, which is a bit bigger than I usually use, which is usually about 13 pixels. Let's see, line height, we'll make that 1.6 em, and then the background of the body is just going to be a really light gray. Alright, so next thing is the list items, and I just want one thing here. I just want to take away the bullets, so I'm going to set list style to none. Alright, so next we want our class container, and the container actually holds all the content, so we want to set that to a certain width. Now I could say something like width 800 pixels, but I want this to be responsive. I want the container to shrink along with the device size, so we're going to set this to a percentage. I'm going to set it to 70%. And as for the margin, we want everything to be in the middle, so we're going to say margin top and bottom will be 20 pixels. Right and left is going to be auto, and that's what's going to give us that push to the middle. And then we just want to add an overflow of auto. Okay, so that's it for the container. Next we have our pull left and pull right. So basically all this is going to do is float it to the left. Okay, we can actually just copy this and make this pull right. Alright, next we have the header, and the header we're going to have a background, and this is going to be a light blue, which is going to be a hexadecimal value, so 1F88F4. The color we want to be white, that's the text color. And we're going to add a padding of 5 pixels on the top and bottom, 10 pixels on the left and right. And we're also going to add an overflow here as well. And the font size. The font size of the header I want a little bit bigger, so we're just going to say 16 pixels. Okay, the footer is going to be very similar, so I'm going to just copy this. Okay, so we're going to have the same background, same padding, everything except the font size. We're going to leave that at the default, which is 15. Okay. Now let's save this and see what happens. Alright, so you can still see all of our questions are showing, and that's absolutely fine. We need to hide those using jQuery, which we'll do, but the header, the questions, everything looks good. We don't have the bullets next to the list items anymore, so it looks pretty good. If we slim it down, you can see it goes with the window. Now one thing I do want to do is, let's say this is a mobile device, we'll say right here. Now I don't want this much space on the side if we're looking at it at this screen size. Alright, we want it to spread out a little more, but we do want that space when we're, say, out here. So what we need to do to achieve that is CSS3 media queries. Okay, so we're going to go to our document, and what we're going to do is set a media query which will say that we want these spaces to be smaller if the window is under 900 pixels. So I would say 900 pixels is somewhere around here. So when we go lower than that, I want these sizes to shrink. Okay, so let me show you how we can do that here. What we want to do is say at media only screen. Okay, so this won't apply to any print views or anything like that. And then we want some parentheses. We're going to say max width 900 pixels. Okay, and we're going to set some curly braces here. And that's a media query. That's it. Now, whatever we put in here is only going to associate with the screen, with the site or the app, if the window is under 900 pixels. So let me just grab this container object here, put that in there, and I want to take away all this because that can stay the same. Let me move this out. Basically, all I want here is to change the 70 to 90. Okay, so if we save that, and let's look at it in normal view, you can see it looks the same, but if we go down to right here, this spot here where it changes, this is 900 pixels. When we get down to 900 pixels, you can see that it gets wider. It gets to this 90% that we added. Okay, so now if we slim down even more, down to mobile version, it looks a lot better because it's not so much pushed in the middle. We have more leeway on the edges here. Okay, so basically this is a responsive design. This will look fine on any mobile device, any iPad or tablet, anything like that. So that's really it for the CSS. Next we will start looking at JavaScript and jQuery. We want to be able to hide all these questions and just have the first one display. So we'll be getting into that next.